Hi, my name is Meir Babaev and I'm a real estate developer in New York. Started developing in 2007 at the height of the market, and we've built approximately 105 or 106 buildings to date, of which we were the developer on about 35 of them and we were the general contractor on the rest. We got into development because we saw that there's a need for good transit-oriented mixed-use product in New York, in the 5 boroughs, and we've grown our portfolio to 1.5 million square feet over the last 12.5 years, and we have about 1 million square feet in our pipeline for future development. Historically, real estate in New York has been on an uptrend over the last 100 years. The way we look at it is that every 10 years, real estate is worth more than it was the previous 10 years. There's a continued growth in real estate because they're not making any more land. The type of real estate that we typically love to do in New York is service-oriented real estate. People have to send their kids to school to get an education. Restaurants, people have to eat. Daycare centers, people have to drop off their children and go to work. Gyms, people need to work out. It's not something that they can order on Amazon. So we look to hedge our real estate developments in New York by offering multi-service oriented developments. So we are a big landlord for daycare centers. We're Blink Fitness's biggest landlord in New York. We own 10% of their buildings. So if anyone is following New York real estate, you'll see certain trends, right? Manhattan became Manhattan because there was a rush of development. Everyone wanted to be in Manhattan. And Manhattan's oversaturated, obviously. There is no land left in Manhattan. Everything is developed or being developed or is owned long-term and not being developed for a while, but very little of it is left. Then there was a rush into Brooklyn, and Brooklyn got pretty developed pretty quickly, and it's just been phenomenal to see. Then Long Island City has transformed in the last 5 or 10 years from 1 tower to over 20 towers, and the demand is there. So Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens have just been on fire, blown up in the last quarter of a century. The next in line was Bronx, because Bronx is amazing in terms of its transportation. It's amazing in terms of its access to Manhattan, its access to Brooklyn and Queens. There is just so much going on. It's such a vibrant neighborhood, such a vibrant community. There is an older stock there, so there is potential for development. Even guys like Related are in the Bronx right now, and Brookfield, and all these other large developers, Starwood Capital, they're all in the Bronx. So the Bronx is a market that continues to grow in need of services, in need of development, in need of new projects. And we are very active in the Bronx. We have completed over 7 buildings in the Bronx in the last 5 years. We wanted to find a project that brings the services that are needed in the Bronx on the busiest corner in the Bronx. And we found this project, and we developed this project, and we spent 3 years of our lives on this project, and now potentially cash flow for the rest of our lives through that development, through the hard work that we've put in. We want to benefit long-term from it. And that's what real estate is. Equity markets, bond markets, they're fluctuating. You can buy today at $1 and sell at $2, or you can buy at $1 and sell it for 50 cents. Real estate has long-term growth due to reasons such as rental increases over time. The longer the tenant's in the building, the higher the rent that tenant is paying over time. It's a hedge against inflation. In our years of developing real estate, we've seen the tremendous growth that real estate has had, and we believe that that growth is going to continue, and we believe that an asset like this is going to be a long-term strategic asset that the neighborhood will always benefit from for the next 50 to 75 years. Sometimes the equity and the bond markets, they don't necessarily translate in growth the way real estate translates in rental increases. which are contractual obligations, versus speculation. The reason why we got into real estate is to build wealth. And we feel like if we're going to work very hard for 3 to 4 years to develop a project, we want to get paid on that work that we've done for the rest of our life and collect the coupon of the rental income and the cash flow that we're receiving from the project that we spent 3 or 4 years of our lives working on. I encourage you to consider this investment with a long-term view. Thank you.